Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, kindly settle down. We're going to begin the event shortly. I'm starting. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I request everyone to settle down so that we can begin the event. Request everyone to put their phone on discreet mode. Mic check. Mic check. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to invite you all to this gathering today. We are in a stage of Atmanirbhar, the talk of the buzzword across India right now, and the whole world is still talking about what is Atmanirbharta all about. Here we are gathering together in the land where we have the most prominent electronic manufacturing clusters in India, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and we are gathering here to begin the day for Desi, which is on defense, electronics, and semiconductor and innovations in the land. To begin the morning, I invite Dr. Satyanarayana, Director IIT Tirupati, to give the welcome address. Before that, I would like to request Mr. Saurabh Gaur, IAS, to please come on stage. Secretary ITNC Government of ITNC Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Satyanarayana, Director IIT Tirupati. Mr. Krishnamurthy, President and CEO IESA. Commander Vinod Kumar Karnakaran, Project Officer, Indian Navy. Captain A.S. Rawat, Indian Navy DMDE. Mrs. Gautami IAS, CEO, EMCs, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Kiran Salkireddy, Group CEO, APITA. Lieutenant General Kapoor. Thank you so much, sir. I invite Dr. Satyanarayana to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Kirtana. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to IIT Tirupati. And since many of you are visiting IIT Tirupati for the first time, I thought I'll give a quick overview about IIT Tirupati, especially being a new IIT. So everyone wonders, where are these guys, whether they've arrived, and where do they stand? So just a little perspective, we have been expanding the IIT system. In the last few decades, we had the first generation IITs that started in the 50s and 60s. And subsequently, IIT Guwahati was started in 1994, and then Roorkee became an IIT. So we consider them the first generation IITs. And then in 2008, 8 more IITs started in various places: Hyderabad, Jodhpur, Patna, Gandhinagar, and so on. So we consider the second generation IITs. And then in 2015-16, 6 more IITs started. So we are part of the third generation IITs. We call ourselves 3G IITs. Okay, for third generation 3G IITs in Tirupati, Palakkad, Jammu, Dharwad, Bhilai, Goa. And the ones in Tirupati and Palakkad have been mentored by IIT Madras. So we started in 2015. You know why IIT Madras is #1 institute in the country today. They mentored IIT Hyderabad, which became the strongest or the largest IIT in the second generation IITs. And then in the third generation IITs, both the ones that they're mentored by them are in more advanced stage compared to the other IITs. I've been a professor at IIT Madras, so, and studied there, been a prof there. So I still can't get IIT Madras out of my talk. So in case in between, instead of Tirupati, I keep telling Madras, excuse me. I know my colleagues get bugged by it, but you can't get it. Having been born in the campus, brought up in the campus, studied there, and so on. So you can't get 50 years of association out of you very quickly. So we started off this institute in 2015, and as any new IIT, the model has been you start off with mentor institutes taking charge to run the show till the director is appointed. And after the director is appointed, the director decides whether he still wants the help of the mentor institute or he or she wants to run the show on their own. So we started off with 4 branches in engineering: civil, mechanical, electrical, and computer science and engineering, admitting 30 students. Soft launch from a temporary campus 20 kilometers from here in a private engineering college, Chalwada group of institutions. And we set up essentially all the required undergraduate first year, it's all common labs and so on. And subsequently in 2018, we started the 2017, we started admitting students in our Master of Science program and the PhD program. So today we have 1,450 students in the institute, out of which about 250 students are PhD students. Okay, so we have a huge group of research students here in the institute. Our undergraduate, IITs are known by their brand for their BTech program, but we are more a postgraduate institutions. If you take the more older first generation IITs, 60% of the students are postgraduate students. Only 40% are undergraduate students. We will also be going towards that direction. Eventually, another 3-4 years, we should also be in that proportion. But right now, we are about 50-50 between PG and UG. We started our MTech programs in 2018 in various areas, in mechanical, electrical, computer science, subsequently in civil. This year, we're starting in chemical engineering. 2018, we also added chemical engineering. And we have very strong departments in math, physics, chemistry, and humanities and social sciences. So we also run MSc programs in math, physics, chemistry. And we have also started masters in public policy this year. So we are the third IIT to start a masters in public policy after Bombay and Delhi. And in terms of our campus development, this is a 548-acre campus, which the state government has been very generous in giving us this land. Of course, that's the average size of any IIT campus, and a beautiful setting that this has been located in. So we have 530 acres on this side of the highway and another 19 acres on the other side of the highway. So the campus is being developed in various phases. So what we did is this part of the campus that you're in right now, we call it the South Campus. We used to call it the Transit Campus earlier. We built it very fast using a number of new technologies. I keep telling, being institutes of national importance in technology, if we don't use technology and demonstrate technology, no point just teaching in the class and lecturing to everyone and consulting everyone, and you don't do it yourself. So you'll see we have brought a number of sustainable technologies in building this campus. When you go have a chance, please walk around. The hostels that we built in this part of the campus, they're all using glass fiber reinforced gypsum panels, where we use gypsum, which is a waste product. So all our hostels have been built with waste product from the chemical and fertilizer industry. So if you go to FACT Cochin, there's 7 million tons of gypsum lying there. They don't know what to do with it. So we use that to build our campus. No bricks, 30% less concrete, and so on. And with 5 PhD students, that's a technology that basically came from Australia, but 5 PhD students at IIT Madras worked on validating this technology and pushing its use into much better in terms of design for earthquake zone areas going up to 8 stories and so on. A number of other technologies, polished concrete, 48-volt DC fittings, all our hostels, all this work on 48-volt DC fittings from solar. So because from solar, put inverters, AC, DC conversions, you use, this is all, we demonstrated all this. If you go and see our main buildings that are coming up, they're all fair face concrete, no plastering, no painting. You would just build your building. Very difficult to achieve that, which we have done. And we also building our campus in a very, not only in a sustainable way from a materials perspective and so on, also from a human sustainability point of view. So our campus has been, you have to go see our Viswakarma Awas, our labor camp, which has 2,000 workers. And it is a model labor camp. Now, I'm a central government organization. We're doing all this in government, through government setups, through CPWD. And our site has been ranked the #1 site in the country for HSE practices in terms of construction. So national safety National Safety Council has awarded us last year the silver medal, this year the bronze medal. And you must go see the workers colony, 2,000 workers. They get RO water. There's an STP which runs in that to recycle the water. We created gardens for the recreation in the evening. There's a health center, there's a school, and so on. Okay, so and when we're doing these things, we not only want to do these things, do them in a proper way. We got 2 British Safety Awards, so 8 awards for safety and 2 awards for sustainability. So they're building this campus. And on our first year of operation, we were ranked number 6 in the Swachh campus things on. But most importantly, we're also doing it quite fast. Probably we're the first IIT to among the second and third generation IIT where we moved all the operations in, all the students moved in the campus. First, the first batch lived in the campus for a year. Again, that's a major achievement. Most IITs, 3-4 batches graduated without ever seeing the campuses. Okay, that's on the little bragging on our what we have been doing on our physical and front. But on the research front, we have been very aggressive on the research front. We have right now about 103 faculty members in our thing. I had 120 sanctioned positions. Another 2 months from now, we would have filled up another at least 10-15 positions more. And then we'll go in for more positions. So we'll keep expanding. And so we have faculty positions in all the departments, 9 departments as we have. Most importantly, we've been very aggressive on research. We have right now 100 and how many, Dr. Tirupati, projects now? We have 130 sponsored research projects from various agencies. And please note that my faculty have been here for on the average for less than 3 years. Right. In spite of it, we have been managed to get 130 research projects to the tune of 175 crores sponsored funding. And we have set a trend where every faculty who comes in from day one, he or she starts working on a sponsored research proposal to get in funding and so on, including my humanities faculty members. They've brought sponsored research projects. And on the 2 things that are relevant for today's event that we have set up here is the Technology Innovation Hub on under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems on Positioning and Precision Technologies. So under this national mission, it's a 3,700 crore or so national mission, where they've set up 25 technology innovation hubs across various institutions, mostly IITs and IISc, also Birla Institute of Technology, BITS, IIIT Hyderabad, and so on. And the technical vertical under which it has been, for which IIT Tirupati was selected, again, a major achievement. At that time, we were barely 5 years old to get 100 crore funding for this technology innovation hub on positioning and precision technologies, which includes, tracking systems for missiles or satellites and so on. And then GIS, GPS, remote sensing related technologies, how to make them more precise, indoor navigation. Now we are also starting to talk about underwater navigation and so on. And so we'll be the national hub on that. And we are also working very, so under that, we have four major initiatives. One is technology development. Second one is manpower development. So we as a country like to position it as First one is materials and manufacturing. We strongly believe as a country, we are not done well on the manufacturing front. And that's where you can create employment. And that's where we need to really focus on and put in a lot of resources. For a country of this size, where manufacturing accounts for less than 50% of the economy, of the GDP. And in terms of manpower also, we need to do a lot. And today materials, it's becomes a core of all these things. So we, under this, we have just setting up a center of excellence in smart factories, smart manufacturing. It's the IIT Tirupati Siemens Wipro Center of Excellence. So Siemens is putting in about 50 plus crores worth of funding, or rather, so all the software they're giving us, any particular software for modeling, analysis, design, visualization, the whole, all their package they're giving us. Siemens has been setting up this training centers across the country, but our model is very different. When they came to us and said, we would like to do it, I said, if it is purely a training kind of thing, we are not interested. So they reworked the whole model specifically for us to make it a more research-based center. So this has the IoT lab. We're setting up 7 labs under this, including analysis, design, modeling, simulation, IoT lab, right? So whole idea is, and then we have added a EV lab, electric vehicles lab, and a microgrid lab. So all these required software and so on will be available. And the whole idea of setting up this center of excellence is to work with the industry around. Okay, they should be able to come. Someone who wants to set up a manufacturing setup, they must be able to create a digital twin here, run the whole thing on a digital twin, and then go and implement it. So we want to provide those platforms for them to work with the industry very closely and create the environment for that. So that is one major initiative. The second area we have identified as a thrust area for our institute is smart infrastructure. Again, starting from the civil part of it, infrastructure includes the civil infrastructure, water, wastewater, power, housing, and so on, plus your communication infrastructure, your electrical infrastructure, and so on. And then IoT-based sensors, then going up to the e-governance level. So again, all these are very interesting, involves our humanities people and so on, when it coming to governance. The third area we have identified is energy, alternate energy, and energy storage, including batteries and hydrogen. In fact, we have 2 very senior colleagues who work in the area of hydrogen in the institute. And the fourth area is food processing and precision agriculture. Now, once again, among the 23 IITs, what I found is that only Kharagpur has a Department of Agriculture, Engineering and Food Processing. And for a country where more than 50% of the population is rural and dependent on this, on the agriculture-related activities, we felt, and being in a state which is highly agrarian, so this is an area that we are giving a strong trust. In fact, the former director of CFTRI, Central Food Technology Institute, Mysore, the premier food technologist, he's a professor here now, Professor Ragarao. So that is another big initiative we are pushing very strongly. And precision agriculture from a climate change point of view, from a health point of view, from a sustainability point of view, it's very important. And it involves, ag tech has become suddenly high tech, right, with all these applications. So, for example, we work very closely with the ISER. This is the only city in the country which has an IIT and an ISER. Okay. So ISER is the premier science institutes in the country. They're just 3 kilometers down the line, and we work very closely with them on many initiatives. So we are also doing all these things in multi-institutional platforms. Like at the end of the day, if you're going to do precision agriculture, you must know the plant, right? You can talk about technology, AI, ML, but if you don't know the botany of the plant and the root system of the plant and all those things, you will only be doing solutions that you think the technology guys usually push without understanding the other side of the requirements. So they take the plant biology part of it. We look at the technology part of it, sensors, communication, analytics, and so on. And then we are in talks with the NG Ranga Agricultural University because they have the field stations, they have the way they can apply and they are more in touch with the ground thing. And if you have to do demonstration pilots, they have the access. So that's another area. The fifth area that we are working on is CHEMOST, we are at Atomic, Molecular, and Optical Sciences and Technologies. This includes quantum technologies. There's a big quantum mission is going to be announced. They've been telling it's going to be announced for the last 1 or 2 years. But the people, they tell me that that's another big, they were talking about 8,000 crores. Now I think it's come down to 6,000 crores initiative. So again, we are positioning ourselves very much with ICER and ourselves creating a joint center on atomic, molecular, and optical sciences and technologies, including the quantum technologies, including quantum computing and so on. Our recent hiring also has been focused along those lines, bringing in people in these areas. So these are all the areas that we are pushing hard. We have created a large central instrumentation facility, a 85,000 square feet building, probably one of the biggest single building central instrumentation facility among the institutions, where we're going to house the high-end equipment, whether it's electron microscopes, the SEMs, the chromatographs, and we want to put in the stuff for the electronics industry for their testing purpose. So for that, I've been trying to reach out to the industry and the thing, what are the requirements? And it's not been easy to get that thing going. So in fact, we've been running a number of conclaves to get to understand, to tell the industry we are here to work with you, and also tell the industry to tell us what is it they're expecting from us. We think we should go high up on the value chain, especially on the electronics, on the theme of today's talk, which Mr. Saurabh Gaur and Krishnamurthy and others will talk about. I'm a civil engineer, but as head of the institution, it's my responsibility to understand these ecosystems and see how to push these things. But we definitely need to go up the value chain rather than using mostly assembly, get component systems and coming and assembling them here, getting down to component level, getting down to design, all these aspects. So we are here to work with the industry, and we are also forming clusters. We have, for example, with APSHI, Andhra Pradesh State Council for Higher Education. I've been working closely with them. We've created 4 clusters of institutions. So we have the Tirupati cluster, which includes the institutions around Tirupati. Tirupati as a town is, everyone knows it as a pilgrimage center, but it's also a major educational center. It has 7, 8 universities in a town of just 350,000 population. I don't think any town, very few towns have this kind of educational ecosystem. So what I've been proposing, and I've talked to this about the chief secretary, I've talked to this about this to a number of people in the government, is we create the, starting from Mohan Babu University, which is a private university, then you come to Tirupati, you have SV University, you have Mahila University, you have Agricultural University, you have Veterinary University, you have SWIMS, the Medical University, and then coming further down, we have IIT and ICER, and if you go a little bit further towards Sri City, which is one of the biggest private industrial parks in the country, we have IIIT Sri City there, and we have Kriya University there, right? So I'm proposing that we call this the Tirupati Research and Innovation Corridor, okay? And get all these institutions working together. And so we have actually created this hub, which includes the institutions from cluster, from Nellore and Kadapa. So we call it the Tirupati cluster. And similarly, so APSHI has created 4 such clusters in the state. And the Tirupati cluster has been the most active. And I happen to be the coordinator of this Tirupati cluster activities on bringing all these people on a common platform. And again, for this cluster, we have identified 3 thrust areas. In the interest of time, I'm not going to get into details on this. I'll just close by saying that, we've also, one is the central instrumentation facility, and I've created the civil infrastructure. Now we need to create the equipment and the other ecosystem there. The whole idea is this is available for my institute researchers, my students and faculty members, For the institutions outside also can come and use it, and for the industry to use it. Okay. There'll be differential charges for each of this. Industry obviously has to subsidize the, take care of the expenditure, and the academic people will have it at a discount charge. We have to man it, we have to consumables, we have to depreciate the assets we're creating. So there'll be some charges just to cover those things. But most importantly, the second thing is across the road. As I told you, I have 530 acres on this side and 19 acres on the other side of the road. We're connecting up the two parcels through an underpass, and we have set it aside for a research park. Okay. Which we want the industry and the various organizations to come and set up their base here to work closely with us. I happen to be from IIT Madras, which has the largest research park in the country, academic research park country, closely associated with it. I was chairman of the committee to build it, that research park, to get it designed and so on, as a professor at IIT Madras. Professor Ashok Junjunwala and then the directors were driving it. But I was, being a civil engineer, I was taking care of creating the facility. But so I'm very well aware on what needs to go. They're going to third phase of expansion, IIT Madras Research Park. And again, Junjunwala called me and said, I want you to come back and help me at least build the third phase. So I've agreed to that. So I've got some insight on how to build research parks. So we have set this aside. Saurav Gabar, other government representatives are here. So let's leverage this, and definitely would like to play an anchor role in not only of course, we're an Institute of National Importance. So we are our tagline is, we're an Institute of National Importance with global outlook and local relevance, right? So we would definitely like to work. For example, we're working with the Kalamkari artists here to do some work under the IKS, Indian National Knowledge System Initiative. We have now creating a center to study the chemistry behind the Kalamkari art and all those things. And our local relevance also, if you look at our logo, you will see we have brought some Kalamkari art elements into our logo and so on. Now, again, a logo is, if I get into my logo description, that's another. It's an intriguing logo. Go to a website to understand what it is. So welcome. I've taken much longer than this thing, but I thought I should use the opportunity to, they having given me the platform to host this event. We are very grateful to the state government, and we are here to work with all of you. And most importantly, on the manufacturing sector, as I told, that's one of our major thrust areas. And with the EMCs present here, we would like to see how to work very closely on the electronic manufacture part of it also. I have a strong relationship with Sri City also. In fact, I'm trying to set up an industry institute interaction center at the Sri City, along with IIIT there. They've already offered to give me the required facilities. So we want to like to do that also. And most importantly, let's move up the value chain and use the resource. As I told, I have 250 PhD students. It's probably, if you come next year, it'll be 350. You come down another 3-4 years back, we'll probably have 500 PhD students here. So that's the kind of, and DRDO is also setting up a center of excellence here at IIT Tirupati. The then chairman of DRDO and now the advisor to the Raksha Mantri, Satish Reddy Garu, has been here a couple of times. And the DRDO centers in charge, Mr. Nandagopal, visited us 3 weeks back. So in advanced stages of setting up the DRDO also center of excellence here. Many more things are happening. So thank you very much and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for the addressing, sir. Before we proceed further, I request all the dignitaries on the dais to join hands for the Jyoti Prajwalan. Now, I request our guest of honor, Mr. K. Krishnamurthy Garu, CEO and President of IESA, to address the gathering.
PPT.
A very good morning to all of you. Gives me immense pleasure to be here this morning, to be with all of you. And respected Secretary Sri Saurabh sir, the Madam CEO of EMC, and all the other dignitaries that we have on the stage. I would like to cover the next 10 minutes of my time into two halves. One, amplifying what Dr. Satyanarayana Gar sir already spoken about. And the second 5 minutes, primarily to talk about IESA and how we are relevant to what is being done in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I will go to the formal presentation a little later. My first interaction with the director sir started about few months back when we were talking about this program. And the very first meeting, within 5 minutes of interaction, I could immediately sense that here is a person who is so passionate about IIT Tirupati. Then I rolled back in my mind my first meeting with Saurabh sir in Meiti. And I thought I got exactly the same feeling when I met Saurabh sir in Meiti office when he was a joint secretary there. So when a bunch of people who are passionate about something come together, you can be rest assured the results will be magnificent. They are not in this for any other reason but for the passion. And that was very evident from the talk Dr. Satyanarayana gave short while ago. It's very important to create an infrastructure. And he talked about some of the highest innovations which are all music to an industry person and a technologist. But more importantly, the kind of vision that he is setting and what caught my immediate attention is not confining it to the boundaries of IIT Tirupati. And I have been personally an advocate of national skill development movement, because if there is something that is going to stop the progress of India in the coming 2 decades, particularly in deep technology like electronics and semiconductors, it's only the talent availability. We had capital availability limitation, but I think that has by and large been addressed over the last 1.5 decades. But today we are getting into a phase where India can become the knowledge capital of the world, provided we are able to scale up our skilling initiatives to the right level with the right kind of skills. And that's precisely what I think Director Sir has also talked about. The model that will work for a country like India is what I personally believe is a hub and spoke model. You call it a cluster model or whatever name, the naming ceremony part is not important. But if one institute like IIT Tirupati brings under its umbrella a group of other institutions and then tell the world that we have the infrastructure like a research park, faculties drawn from multiple disciplinaries, from 8 or 9 institutes, all coming together to create most complex solutions that the world will need for the next 2 or 3 decades, I think you have a compelling story, sir. I think piloting that thought process itself, I think is half the battle done, half the battle won. And I really sincerely congratulate you for that thought process, integrating the academic ecosystem in and around IIT Tirupati to bring out 250 research scholars, 130 or 40 projects in 5 years' time is something unparalleled. 130 projects and 175 or 180 crores committed is unparalleled, because I've been working with IITs for many, many years. Way back in 2002, when I was in National Semiconductor at that time, and we proposed to IIT Kharagpur to set up the master's program where chip design is made as part of the curriculum in master's level, and they have to tape out a design, good, bad, or ugly, doesn't matter, but go through the process, learn the steps, burn your fingers. There was a lot of skepticism. But today, the thinking process itself is quite different, where we are thinking of integrating. And the most important aspect is the technology world is moving in such a direction where it's not just one technology. It's not just one domain. It's not electronics. The moment you take something like a drone, where IIT Tirupati has expertise, and that's one of their focus areas, the sensing and securing kind of projects, it immediately becomes multidisciplinary. You start from chemical engineering, you start from material science, you bring in mechanical engineering, you bring in electronics, aviation technologies. 5, 6 disciplines go into making of a drone itself. So like that, modern technologies are going to be multidisciplinary, and an initiative which brings in the best minds in even one locality like Tirupati, I think it will create a huge multiplier effect into the ecosystem that you are trying to build. So this is the first part of what I wanted to talk about, particularly after listening to Professor Sir, his inaugural talk. Now I come to IESA. So India Electronics and Semiconductor Association is a premier industry association. Many of you may know, may not know, but it doesn't matter. So we are, you can say you're all familiar with CII or FICCI and all that. We are an industry association focused completely on electronics and semiconductors. This very, very specific boundaries. And of course, along with that, now the moment we talk about semiconductors, this also includes the associated ecosystem, because you cannot make a semiconductor design you can do, but if you want to manufacture, immediately a lot of chemicals come into play, gases come into play, metals, minerals, all of that ecosystem comes into play. So we encompass all that in under our umbrella, and our members, who are all members? we have all the major go back or forward. This back. Not going back. Slow it up. So our members are who is who in the electronics and semiconductor world. Multinationals, Indian big companies like the Tata Electronics or Reliance Geos. All the electronics startup companies, majority of them, as well as the MSMEs who are into manufacturing, many of them who are in Sri City, like Foxcons of the world, they are all our members. So we represent a large cross-section of the electronics and semiconductor companies. We work very closely with the government of India and the state governments, like what we are doing today with the state of Andhra Pradesh, in formulating semiconductor policies, electronics policies, bringing out detailed project reports, and also enabling the ecosystem by working with the premier institutes in creating the talent that is required for the country. We have chapters. AP is one of the chapters of IESA. We have now the NCR region. Gujarat, we have inaugurated a chapter. Chennai, Bangalore, of course, in Karnataka. And the next one will be in Pune and then in Bhubaneswar. So we will touch the states who are premier players. And we have a large network of alliances and partnership, including the Semiconductor Industries Association partnership that we have. And we are driving some new initiatives across the continents. Now, what is the context? I just want to set the context so that you are very clear why we are talking about it, why it is so important. If you look at the digital transformation story of India, the last 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years, you will see that every one of our life is touched by electronics and semiconductors in one way or other. Whether it is the Aadhaar enrollment or the UPI transactions, which is probably #1 in the world, the number of mobile subscribers, the number of mobile phones that are getting manufactured, the second largest internet subscribers in internet users in the world, and the fastest growing ecosystem in electronics, and of course, ease of doing business. All this has contributed to a huge, contributed as huge factors in driving the electronics ecosystem in the country. India's contribution, electronics contribution to India's GDP is today, it's about 2%, 2.5%. And a developed country like United States or Germany, it is somewhere in the range of 8 to 10%. But the rate at which we are growing today, and the electronics business is growing today, the electronics consumption is growing today, we will touch 8.5% to 9% by 2030 at the current compounded annual growth rate. So we are on the right track to contribute significantly more than what we are contributing today, maybe about 4x of what we are doing today in terms of the contribution to GDP from electronics. We all hear about a $5 trillion opportunity. You can see what adds up to that $5 trillion. 300 billion is from electronics. This is the electronics consumed in the country. Now you look at other components, other segments, automotive, renewables, defense, railways, and IT and aviation. So every one of those big contributing factors to the $5 trillion economy is happening because there's a huge play of technology and electronics into it. So the story of $5 trillion is not coming in isolation. They are coming as an integrated factor where electronics is going to play. And on the moment electronics comes into picture, semiconductor as an enabling component of that ecosystem becomes very, very important. And that's the relevance of IESA and what we are trying to do. The other interesting aspect, is it sustainable? Is it going to stay there like that? Are we going to go there and then come back like what has happened in some of the other cases in the past? I don't think so, because India's average age is 28.5, and the per capita income is increasing.
Good morning, all of you. Oh, sorry, I have a bad throat, so if you can't hear, you can just ask me to repeat. I've been here just because it's something concerned with defense. So the very purpose of being here is to address the aptly chosen terminology, Desi 2023. I appreciate the person or the team who has chosen that particular terminology, Desi 2023. Hands together for them. For the person or the team who has chosen Desi 2023. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Respected Saurabh Ghosh, Resident Commissioner, Dr. Satyanarayan, Director IIT, Mr. K. Krishnamurthy, CEO and President IESA, Mrs. Gautami, CEO EMC, and sorry for this, I have only those 4 cards with me in my hand, but otherwise other directors and heads of the establishments and eminent speakers and dignitaries on and off the dais, the chieftains and doyens of industries, distinguished scientific community present here, revered academicians, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you all once again. Well, I want to congratulate Director IIT for all the achievements and the efforts which has been put by the team. When he told that it's a 3rd generation IIT, now I can gauge what a 1st generation IIT will be thinking and what they'll be achieving. Congratulations once again, sir. Now, to begin with, I'll start with the general aspects, and then after that proceed to the Navy, then to my organization and the challenges which we have with the MSMEs. I try to keep it short, but let's try. Okay. So one of the greatest resource in the arsenal of democracy is in our national ability and the interest in the field of research. For vigorous prosecution of our defense program, national security, self-reliance, and national progress, we heavily rely on the continued vitality of research by the government and non-government laboratories, universities, institutes, and industries. Well, there's a rapid increase in the technology. Now, to cater for that rightly, as brought out by the director, IIT, that this importance of talent is the need of the hour. Now, with the rapid increase in technology, for which the talent is required, then from there, the talent we leverage the research-oriented projects, and from the research-oriented projects, we create some innovations, and after the innovations, probably we'll start off thinking of indigenization, which is again the prime focus of the government of India. So over the years, we have translated from the elsewhere importing national tag to the self-reliant innovative nation, mainly due to the sustained efforts put in by our scientists in niche areas, uncovered the secrets of nature and applied them in various fields, namely defense, industries, ITs, medical, agriculture, etc. To put in a nutshell, more efficient and economical methods have conserved our resources. New materials have been made possible, better products, and new products have contributed to better health and comfort and general public, which has ultimately had led to enhanced national security and self-reliance in all walks of life. Well, coming to the Navy has been thinking of indigenization, has realized it right from the year 1961. The first indigenized ship which we had built was somewhere in 1961. And today we stand as latest as August 22nd, we had commissioned the INS Vikrant, as all of you know, the aircraft carrier, indigenous aircraft carrier, and which is having the latest technology, including the digital twin of that has been developed for the repairs as well as the maintenance of the equipment. So the Navy has got about 150 ships and submarines and 300 odd aircrafts, for which we are always on the lookout for indigenization of various items and across various fields. The various fields, when we talk about, let me to come to that later. The Navy, based on the Atmanirbhar Bharat, has also taken clarion call given by the Honorable Prime Minister with a letter and spirit. And pursuing this Atmanirbhar Bharat to bolster the Make in India initiative, we actually today have matured in the field of indigenization and transformed ourselves from a buyer's Navy to the builder's Navy, with 39 ships and submarines being built right now. I mean, as I speak, about 39 ships are being built. So we have 150 ships and submarines, 300 odd aircrafts, and ships alone, which is being indigenously built, are about 39 of them. So the various systems or the fields where we can think of indigenization. We start from the power generation and distribution, call it PGD, the communication systems and networking systems. Now that all the communication systems are going smart way, so we have a lot of scope for the latest technology development in the projects. Then we have navigation aids. Again, navigation is one of the niche areas where people outside are unaware, or rather not exposed to that much until they are in touch with the airports or the Navy or the Army, for that matter. Then we have the weapons and sensors. That's another technology where we have the fire control systems. Then we have radars. And the most important part is the underwater technology, for which we actually are having a import ban from our government. We had a very an odd list of about 700 or 800 odd import ban list, or we call it positive indigenization list. So that is the one aspect all the MSMEs can look in for, which all items can be indigenized for the defense. So for this indigenization, we have the various indigenization, which includes the obsolescence management, the standardization, import substitution, induction of new technology, and enhancing the life cycle support. These are the four main drivers for indigenization. Currently, the major schemes which are available for indigenization are the revenue route. Revenue route is one for which we have our organization has been set up. Then the make scheme, make one, make two, etc., and the technological development scheme by the DRDO, and the innovation for defense excellence. So the details of these the items for indigenization for the defense and the specific naval requirements are already available in the public domain and Srigen portal. So as per the initiative of government of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, then Andhra Pradesh. So there's a defense corridor which is coming up in Tamil Nadu. Okay, leave alone the northern part where it's in Lucknow and things like that. UP defense corridor and Tamil Nadu defense corridor. But the initiatives which has been taken by Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka towards towards supporting this defense corridor has also been highlighted by various speakers out here. And in August or September, I had attended as electronic summit for defense and aeronautics, wherein Mr. Gaurav also had given a detailed presentation on the AP government development towards the electronics part of it. So to leverage the potential industries in this southern corridor, the Navy has as it's one of its initiatives, has divided into innovation and the indigenization. So innovation is being done at the northern, that is at the headquarters, and the indigenization is done basically closer to where our ships and submarines are there. So we have the central part, which is located in Coimbatore, that is Center for Indigenization Self-Reliance, where I come from. And we have a satellite unit, something called indigenization units at Bombay and Visakhapatnam. So we are already having about projects about 350 odd in hand, though our center was set up only a year back. We already completed about 12 odd cases together with both the indigenization units. So in our pioneering effort, the Navy has signed an MOU also with CSIR and CSO lab and developed a lot of pumps to begin with, and for basically for the performance monitoring system, condition monitoring system of induction motors, and pursuing parameter monitoring system for propulsion and power generation engines. So let me reiterate that Indian Navy has always been at the forefront of promoting indigenous defense manufacturing, and has been collaborating with both public and the private industries to achieve the self-reliance. So therefore, it is imperative that we continue to strive towards developing better technologies to make ourselves more self-reliant and superior to our adversaries on land, air, and bases, and as well as the seas. Now coming to the challenges, what we have interacted with about with the MSMEs in and around Bombay, Visakhapatnam, as well as Coimbatore, I mean Tamil Nadu area. So the first thing it starts with from the perspective of MSMEs is the defense procedures. So we have something called defense acquisition procedure, defense procurement manual, defense. Now we are coming out with defense indigenization manual, then something called indigenization INIP, Indian Naval Indigenization Plan. So there's a lot of confusing technology. So people are unaware of it. So we are trying to educate and sensitize these people about. One is about the procedure part, otherwise the sensitization part with respect to the security aspects of it. The second thing is, okay, all said and done, we have thorough with the procedures. What about the quantity? So the EOQ is the major question mark where MSMEs, most of the MSMEs back out of this indigenization projects as far as defense, especially Navy is concerned, because at the most we go for indigenization for 3 or 4. The reason being the items which are there is for particular class of ships, and then the class of ship is not more than 3. And with the rapid change in technology, we don't actually support for we don't support for those 3 things which has been already developed. So EOQ is a major the area where people back out. The third one is a long lead time. So by the time people do a research or develop something and then put it into action, your technology is already out, and the lead time, because of the long lead time, we go request the vendors for upgradation and things like that. So which again takes longer lead time, and subsequently the payment, and the payment is all what we are here about. And the most important part from the perspective of Indian Navy, this comes as a top priority. That is a quality, because our items, as all of you know, is has to be of defense standards, and probably you might be developing for industrial grade or domestic grade, but defense standards quality, their testing itself is a huge it's an Herculean task. There's a plethora of tests which you have to undergo, and clearing it, getting cleared, it's itself a Herculean task. So quality as far as the semiconductor components are concerned, especially going to the labs, various labs. We have limited labs, especially the EMC lab. If you have to stick to 461 whatever, Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot. As of now, Echo Foxtrot is going on. So getting cleared with that and going to the labs, which only few of them like Bell or Tata's have, itself is a question mark. And there, probably the hand holding has to be done from the higher water formation, like the PSUs, defense PSUs also. The last part is the IPR part. Dr. Satyanarayan sir had mentioned about everything except for the IPR. I don't know how many IPRs your institute, sir, doctor, sir. So sorry to interrupt you. So you mentioned everything about your achievements except for one thing. I wanted to know about the IPRs, number of IPRs you have. your thing is taken. So, so that IPR thing is one thing which is another. These are the challenges what we have, and we have faced either with, I mean, MSMEs they have told us, and or we have also encountered with. Especially, I've been in quality assurance of clearing the items for going on board ships and submarines for last 5 years, and after that I shifted to this. Think out of the box is the need of the hour, because if every MSME thinks individually, it's not going to happen. As far as defense is concerned, probably as suggested in, you can go for a consortium or something, and like rightly say, Mr. Krishnamurthy had said about the clusters. Maybe you can form a clusters and handhold each other. The second is make a consortium with defense PSUs. Defense PSUs will handhold them. Defense per se, Army, Navy, Air Force can per se handhold you to some extent. But you know, the major part for which you are looking for, the handholding of that part can be taken care by the big fish in the market. So that certainly, maybe you can gauge who are the big fishes out. Lastly, the Navy has also taken the, okay. Now coming to this particular event of Desi 2023, it's an apt time and occasion that after the especially pandemic era, having so many summits in a very short span of time. I've been attending some at least 5-6 in a year kind of summits. So it shows the boost and thrust which is being given by the country as well as the various states. So it is an apt and right occasion for one direct interaction and meeting of the captains and doyens of the industries, the researchers, academia, and the end users like us, the defense. I have no doubts in my mind that the meet and the showcasing part of it, where we have an expo or something like that, I'm not sure about it, shall facilitate a conducive atmosphere for all the stakeholders and fulfill all their objectives and requirements. I wish the 2 days, or sorry, I wish this expo today all the success and fruitful deliberations to take it forward. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity, as well as congratulate the organizers of Desi 2023. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for letting us know about the Indian Navy and then its achievements from a buying Navy to a building Navy. That's really a great effort for all the Indians. And now I request Shri Saurabh Gaur, IAS Officer, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to address the gathering.
Thank you so much for having me here today. The host of the occasion, distinguished Director IIT Tirupati, Dr. Satyarana Garu, other colleagues on the dais, my friend Krishnamurthy ji, with whom I've had a long association in my earlier role and in the present role also. Captain Rawat, Vinod Kumar ji, Commodore Vinod Kumar, my colleagues, I have CEO of Electronic Manufacturing Cluster, Gautami ji, Atlane, CEO of Andhra Pradesh Electronics and IT Promotion Agency, Mr. Kiran Kumar, also distinguished senior veteran Anil Kapoor ji, and other friends of the dais also, Rajiv Khushu ji, Anil Kumar, who is the CEO of Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society, Arun ji, and Srinivas Raju Garu, Andarki, me Andarki Atlane ikkadki vachinటువంటి me colleague, academia, faculty, students, very good morning to all of you. It is always a great pleasure to come to an academic institution, especially the likes of IIT. I belong to, like what the director said, the first generation IITs. It was not even actually an IIT at that time. I was in Roorkee, where I did my electronics and communication engineering. Again, a campus like this, away from the hustle bustle of the crowd, but a campus which I hold dearly, and undergrad studies are the most dearest time of one's life that way. You make friendships, you have all the fun, and hopefully you make something of your own. And I owe what I am to the things that I learned there. One thing that I realized immediately after coming to the institution, I spent a bit of a time around with Mr. Chakravarti, your security in charge, and then listening to the vision that Professor Satyanarayana is propagating. I think like he classified IITs into the original IITs, the first and the second tier, on the sense, the ones which were set up later on. I think 20 years from now, when all these distinguished elements, they become, they're not that obvious, and the IITs become one in the sense that nobody even will remember ye purana IIT hai, the Pathadi, the Kotadi, Atlantium, Lakunda. Then I think, I'm sure IIT Tirupati will find its place among the top IITs of the country, and I think you are sowing the right seeds here. I compliment you, sir, for your vision. I'm so glad that a person like you is leading this effort, and I'm sure that 2 decades from now, I'm not a soothsayer, but I would like to make this prophecy that this will be among the top IITs in the country. There's no doubt in my mind. I would want to talk about some high-level things, but I would like to largely make my delivery functional and on the operational aspects. Among the many things that Dr. Satyanarayana talked about, Krishna Murthy ji, who used some of my slides also actually as part of his delivery, but it's always good to see that. In the sense, the slides we prepared doing the PLI scheme, the semiconductor program, and so on and so forth in Government of India. And we were working together, probably, or it could have been the other way around. I would have been using some of his slides, and today I realized that those were his slides. The whole country uses them. So we are all in it together. And the fact that Commander Vinod Kumar talked about certain things. Andhra Pradesh is one of the top states for electronic manufacturing in the country. Electronics is also the most value generating sector of the economy. The top companies of today are all into hardware space or in IT space. You look at the likes of Apple, Samsung. Look at the likes of EMS companies like Foxconn, Wistron, Pegatron now, and so on and so forth. All $1 trillion, multi-billion dollar, hundreds of $1 billion worth of companies. So this is the space, the digital space, the emerging technology space, where a lot of value is getting generated. India today, Krishnamurthy Garu covered that in his presentation also. The electronic manufacturing in India today is around $85 billion US. We are looking at a $300 billion US electronic manufacturing and $1 trillion digital economy in 4 to 5 years from now, as we aspire to become a $5 trillion economy. Now, while this is at the top level, 10,000 feet level, what does it entail for Andhra Pradesh? In Andhra Pradesh, we aspire to be at least 15%. Try to be 20%, but at least 15% of electronic manufacturing that is happening in the state, in the country. So what it will mean is that can we bring in Andhra Pradesh $50 billion of electronic manufacturing over next 4 years? And dividing it further into how much of it is going to come out of mobile phone manufacturing. Let us say mobile is an important segment. Today also, out of $85 billion $32 billion is mobile manufacturing. And one can always have the debate about what is the value addition going on. Is it only assembly? We have moved progressively from semi-knockdown stage to completely knockdown stage to the components also, and so on and so forth. But we look at today also, Andhra Pradesh manufactures one mobile phone every second. Looks very attractive. It's not so actually. India today manufactures 220 million mobile phones. It is going to manufacture 1 billion mobile phones every year, 4 years from now. So how much do we bring in Andhra Pradesh? And which are the companies that will make it happen here? We have friends from Intech, from Foxlinks. Sunny Optotech. Yep, Sunny Optotech. So again, the talk about how much is the value addition going deeper. Sunny Optotech today is manufacturing camera modules. So all the camera modules for the iPhones and for other companies also, they are a big company that does that. they'll end up doing variety of other items also. So this is around 5 to 7% of bill of material of an iPhone. We are going to have, for example, Tata set up a factory which manufactures the mechanics, the aluminum casing behind the iPhone. They have set up that investment with almost $500 million, 3,500, 4,000 odd crores. That is the first time Tata actually ventured into electronics. They opened a new company called Tata Electronics just to do an aluminum cover of an iPhone. So look at the value that is getting created. And the other day, I was speaking to Mr. Banmali Agarwal and others, and I think they've already employed 15,000, 20,000 people there. Pegatron came to India 3 years back. Yesterday, I was speaking to the director there. They have employed 20,000 people space of 3 years. Sunny Opotech also, I think, has been on a recruiting spree. We have a company called Wingtech coming up here in Andhra Pradesh. Again, one of the bigger Chinese EMS companies. They are going to expand from 15,000 square meters to 150,000 square meters in a span of 1 year. They are going to employ 20,000 people in next 5 years. So there's a future we are looking at in Andhra Pradesh also. And that gives lots of opportunities. Opportunities in the manufacturing space and opportunities in the design space also. The companies are slowly morphing themselves from EMS companies. Those are the assembly some companies, the electronic manufacturing service companies, to the ODMs and the IDMs, the integrated design and manufacturing companies or the original design and manufacturing companies. So that is the future we are looking at as we go deeper in electronics manufacturing. Now, what is the role that government should be playing, academia and industry association should be playing for all of this to happen in a seamless manner? And I'll probably take some of these things from the lecture that, from the opening remarks that the director made. Before that, just a couple of other things. Today, Andhra Pradesh has the first display plant also. It's not a display fab, but a display assembly happening from a pure cell to an open cell to the display of a mobile phone or the display of a television screen, and even the middle form factors also display of a let us say a monitor, all-in-one PC, laptop display. That has come by a Chinese company again called TCL. With their TCL is the television manufacturing company, but they have a panel manufacturing company called POTPL, Panel Opto Display, Panel Opto Display Private Limited. Andhra Pradesh also has the first cell manufacturing company, lithium-ion cell manufacturing company in the country in terms by the name of Munhoth. So while there are lots of companies that do assembly of a battery pack by bringing cells, now this is a company that has gotten into manufacturing of cells also. And all these companies are actually located in Tirupati. I have not even gotten to Sri City, where again there is a very big ecosystem. Around 60% of air conditioners of the country in 3 years from now will be getting manufactured at Sri City. The biggest CCTV manufacturing facilities will be in Andhra Pradesh. So like that, there's a lot of stuff happening around us, and that is where there's a need for great convergence between academia and industry. Now, how to make it happen and what is the role that government is going to play in that to enable it? I would like to probably talk about this in slightly more detail. Before that, we talked about, so I think a couple of other things that I don't want to forget. Director talked about a cohort of 20 students doing an MPP program also here, sir, now. That's a great thing. I also happen to do, after my engineering, a MPP program or a public policy program. For me as a public policy professional, it is important that I make the transition and become a thoroughbred public policy professional. So I found the program very useful. I'm sure that the people whom you are training here, we are happy to offer them internships, sir, Director, sir. To all of the students, I am happy to offer internships, whoever would wish to take. And the internships which will count, which is not that you get engaged with a private government institution, అక్కడ ఎవరు అడిగేవారు ఉండరు, ఊరికే వచ్చి కూర్చొని వెళ్ళిపోవాలా. You just sit there, while away your time, do some moonlighting or whatever else you're doing and go away. It's not like that, but very organized internships. And internships in the only thing government does probably is run programs at population scale. You work with a company, you are running, you obviously are dealing with a certain clientele, but it is not that you are dealing with billions of people. In government today, the GSWS, the Gram Sachivalaya, Ward Sachivalaya, with its very robust digital service delivery platform called the Gram Seva or the Ward Seva portal, with 539 odd services, with almost billion services delivered today, with very defined service level agreements. It is among the biggest public service delivery platform that is run by Government of Andhra Pradesh. Now there is an entire digital platform behind this, and there's a lot of research that can go into that also. There's a lot of work to be done in terms of, while we have made the platform, how do you do apart from the workflow automation that has happened, how do you do process reengineering, how to bring more efficiency. So there are internship opportunities available there on the GSWS platform, which is one of the bigger digital platforms that I have. Similarly, I have the Andhra Pradesh government, and when I say I represent the government of Andhra Pradesh, and I speak on behalf of all my fellow colleagues, secretaries and all. We run among the biggest education platforms also called Gyanabhumi. In Gyanabhumi, so while IIT Tirupati has no obligation to be on Gyanabhumi, but a JNTU, a Triple IT, all the agriculture, the other universities like the Mahila University, Agriculture University, and the likes you talked about, all of them are on Gyanabhumi program portal. It is a digital platform which maps the entire student life cycle from the time of taking examination till the time of graduating. So enrollment, admission, attendance, evaluation, internship, examination, everything gets mapped onto the platform. And we have 33 lakh students on that platform going at, that is the kind of Innovation Society also has a presence here, and I will have that person. Unfortunately, even private university is also that way. A VIT or a SRM or a Gayatri or a KIT or so and so forth, or Geetam, or lots of them who are running their own incubators. What we want to enable is a resource sharing platform so that the startups that are incubated here, but the students belong to, say, a Kurnool or a Visakhapatnam or anywhere, they are able to book the space, and during their summer time or whenever they are at their hometowns also, they can utilize that infrastructure. There might be a top class multi-material additive manufacturing lab in Andhra MedTech zone that can be utilized by everyone. I am assuring you, sir, that we'll make it happen. And we'll be among the first states to do that, because we understand and we know how to make this happen. So that is the other thing, that as network of networks, Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society will morph itself into and enable it for everyone. Then the last thing, sir, is that we are looking at lots of innovation challenges. One more thing after that, innovation challenges. We ran a innovation challenge in FinTech recently. So another big platform I run is, the government runs, is Andhra Pradesh Comprehensive Financial Management System, CFMS, which is almost like a PFMS, the one that you use in Government of India. And it is run by a company called Andhra Pradesh Center for Financial Systems and Services. So we ran, for example, 4 problem statements present recently. One was on duplicate invoices that come into our system and how to weed them out. The other one was on T+0 payment settlement mechanism. The third one was on digital signature integration. The fourth one was on resource mobilization efficiency and revenue forecasting. Because we have revenues coming from sales tax, from excise, from mining, from property, different buckets in which revenue is coming. How do you do some revenue forecasting and ensure that look at dashboards and analytics and so on and so forth. So we ran a very successful challenge. We had 72 odd startups participating. We had finally selected 10 startups. We are procuring their solutions also into our system. We are going to run a logistics challenge. You are having your mapathon tomorrow. We are going to have our logistics challenge quickly. We are looking at, for example, APSRTC becoming a courier agency also. APSRTC runs lots of buses day in and day out. Can they do other value-added services? And so I think the use cases are aplenty. We just need to sit and decide. We are looking at actually a ship-based logistics, a Flipkart for shipping industry, for the ports of calling and so on and so forth. We are looking at exploring markets in Europe, sourcing products from Andhra Pradesh or rest of India also for Indian diaspora abroad. That's one of the problem statements in logistics. So like that, we have some very interesting and innovative problem statements that come our way, which would want to run through the innovation ecosystem and source it from them. So that is the other thing, sir, where we look at anchor organizations or institutes to run the challenge with us. So your Section 8 company, your TIH or your innovation hub partners with us and does that challenge. We are looking at least one challenge every month, and we are looking at, say, 12 different partner institutions who can anchor and run them, one in cybersecurity, one on agriculture, and so on and so forth. So that's on the challenges side. The last one is on the centers of excellence. IITs being institutes of national eminence and recognized institutes, they get those funding and all. Unfortunately, there's a lot of funding getting is would want that COE to get to extend itself and to have branches with other institutes also in the state. And we ourselves will be running, for example, with STPI, we are doing something, with NASCOM, we are doing something else, with RINL, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, we are doing something else. So we want to proliferate it and bring it to everybody else also. So that is the other thing, sir. For you, for sake of simplicity, it will be Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society and Andhra Pradesh Electronics and Technical IT Promotion Agency. These are two organizations with the two people sitting with you who will be driving all the initiatives from the state government side, apart from your association with APSHI. The last thing that I have is an ask from you, from IIT fraternity. Whatever you are able to do here, you are able to do it in a very nuanced manner. We are looking at enabling minor degrees for students in other engineering colleges also, because the new education policy provides plenty of flexibility in that regard. How do we make it happen? So we are saying that we are going to have an integrated learning management system and a platform, again plugged into our Gyan Bhumi, which is our student digital platform. And through that, in a hybrid mode, enable minor degrees. So typically, from our understanding with APSHI, it takes 29 credits to get a minor degree. 29 credit means almost 20 hours learning per credit, 580 hours, 600 hours of learning to get a minor degree. We want to see that our students who are, say, somebody is pursuing civil engineering or a mechanical engineering or a chemical engineering, doing a minor degree in a cloud computing or a big data analytics or so on and so forth. So which are the courses that will go together to enable a degree, a minor degree in a particular kind of a specialty? And we would actually want to enable it for our polytechnics also. Because otherwise what we see is polytechnic is only becoming a stepping stone and a easier stepping stone to ultimately go on and acquire another degree. So you're wasting
Vinod Kumar Karunakaran, sir, to please receive the gift of honor. I request Dr. Sachinarayan Garu to receive the token of honor. I request Mr. K. Krishnamurthy Garu, CEO and President of IESA, to receive the token of honor. I request Dr. G. Vijay Kumar to present the mementos to the remaining dignitaries. I request Captain A.S. Rawat, Indian Navy Joint Director, to receive the memento. I request Mrs. Gautami, IAS and CEO of EMCs, to receive the memento. I request Lieutenant General Anil Kapoorji to receive the memento. I request Mr. Kiran Reddy, Group CEO of EPITA, to receive the memento. I request Mrs. Gautami, IAS and CEO of EMCs, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver the vote of thanks.
With due respects to all the dignitaries on the dais, I would rather say that today it looks like, what do we say, it's a conglomeration or a consortium or a conclave, because it's a very good auspicious day for us today, especially for me being the CEO of EMC here, which is very much in a throwaway distance from this place. And new EMC also coming up there at YSR district. So we're very happy to announce that. So today we are having here on the dais people and dignitaries and representatives from various forums. So we have Saurabh sir, respected Secretary IT from the state government of Andhra Pradesh, as well as we have representatives from the naval base as well as the defense segment, and mostly with the future minds also coming up, as sir has rightly pointed out, the IIT fraternity. And such conglomeration today we are having here, which is a very good gathering. And I wish that this would be the beginning of a new era in this modern electronics, because Saurabh sir was just showing right now the prosperity that we could see in the EMC Tirupati cluster. So I think 7 years or 8 years back when we have started from ground level. There was nothing there. Even I was not there at that time, but I keep hearing so many stories, the success stories of EMC Tirupati. So now today we can see the prosperous EMC very much here. I would request even the dignitaries who are off the dais also, if possible, who have come from outside also, please kindly make a visit today to the EMC so that you can see how AP is doing. The ease of doing business, you can just witness it directly once you visit the EMC. The same thing, we heard it previously also some 3 to 4 months back when Honorable Union Minister of MOS has visited EMC Tirupati cluster. So that is the success rate with which the state of Andhra Pradesh is now going into. And coming today with this, coming up to this event of Desi 2023 today, Definitely, as the other spokespersons have already expressed since morning, yes, we are now coming up with this two-pronged strategy where we would be definitely focusing on two things. So one is, we all know that semiconductors and its role and its innovations in the modern electronics. And the other thing is, which we would be focusing in the afternoon session is with regard to encouraging more of MSMEs participation in this sector. So right now, sir was expressing how in the mobile sector, where now state of AP has been doing what we have been producing in the mobile sector. So from there, it is a long way to go, because we are now entering into the next level of electronics, that is the defense electronics. So that is the most prestigious segment of the entire electronic segment, which I rather would like to put in. So it's a very good beginning today. So here we are here with this first beginning step that we have now today, we have been putting it. And together we will be going a long way in achieving what we want to. And it's a vision of India also that by 2027, probably India also wants almost 75% of its entire defense sector requirements in the field of electronics to be met indigenously. So even the other speaker was also saying how indigenization is also quite important now in the present era. So with all these innovative steps and developing of MSMEs, inviting more of MSMEs into this sector. So this is going to be a very good start today. So I would definitely, being a CEO of EMC, rather I would definitely express my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, for your great participation in today's event. And we will be winding up this inaugural session now with this vote of thanks, and we will be having more of a detailed keynote addressing also. There are keynote speakers also today. I would express my deepest thanks to them also, because we have a lot of discussion that will be going on in the coming sessions also. So after this inaugural session, we have 2 sessions in the forenoon and also 2 sessions in the afternoon also. So I would request all of you please to take part in these sessions and contribute your valuable suggestions also. And together we will definitely take the state of AP into a new era of electronics, that is the defense electronics, with semiconductors also coming up in a big way. So I thank each and everyone, especially Satyanarayan Garu, the director here, IIT, for holding this prestigious event today here, for hosting this event, and for extending all the support, and for AISA also, who has come all the way, Krishnamurti Garu, for participating in this event and for extending their support also, and for all of you also who have come from different parts of entire state and outside the state also, and especially the young budding brains also, the IIT fraternity, who have a lot of future in coming up years. So I thank each and everyone, and especially Apita, for coming forward and holding this wonderful event today in this campus. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. With this note, we would like to quickly take a coffee break and let us stick to timing. So probably just in 10 minutes of networking and coffee served outside. So we request you all to usher back into the room in 10 minutes. Kindly be on time so that we can start and be on time. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.